Shin Young-min angrily beats them all while yelling, "This is all your fault, you bastards." Kang Chong-suk charges at Shin Young-min, wanting to punch him while yelling, "What we did was wrong, what?" Shin Young-min looks at Kang Chong-suk and says, "What are you saying, you bastard?" Seeing Shin Young-min not even trying to dodge his punch makes Kang Chong-suk terrified, and he says fearfully, "He's not dodging it. I shouldn't be like this. How dare you still bark at me, have you forgotten who I am?" says Shin Young-min while beating Kang Chong-suk. Shin Young-min grabs Kang Chong-suk's head and knee kicks it while saying, "I'm Shin Young-min, you bastard." The extremely hard knee kick hits Kang Chong-suk's head, making him fall. Shin Young-min smiles happily and says, "Die, you bastard." But a moment later, Park Min-chul stands behind Shin Young-min and stabs him from behind with a knife, saying, "You bastard Shin Young-min, you shouldn't have gone too far. You're the reason we're like this, and why are you attacking us?" Shin Young-min falls and kneels while holding the stab wound, saying with a gasping breath, "Ha, you are crazy." Shin Young-min's blood keeps flowing, making him realize what Hung Sung wanted was total destruction. Hung Sung made Shin Young-min and Park Min-chul's gang choose who would be more ruined. The next day, news about Shin Young-min spreads widely in school. Many students are talking about the incident. "I heard from an acquaintance in the police, Park Min-chul is the suspect," says someone. "I also heard there's something weird about this case. They asked to be sent to juvenile detention ASAP. They want to get out of Deason," adds someone. The incident of Shin Young-min being stabbed makes the whole school chaotic. Who would have thought a strong guy like Shin Young-min would experience this? The scene changes to Hung Sung talking to someone on the phone. "As you said, Young Min Ho's family realized there's no hope for them, so they sold all their properties and left Deason. They're moving to Hung Ki-do, and he'll attend a public school," says the man on the phone. "Of course, rich people's kids are treated differently," says Hung Sung. The person talking to Hung Sung is Go Chang-bom. "He should be sent to juvie. I can send him there if you want," says Go Chang-bom. "Just leave him," says Hung Sung, smiling. This confuses Go Chang-bom. "I want to give him some time to forget who I am. I want him to believe he's living comfortably with his new school. After that, his destruction comes," explains Hung Sung. Hearing this, Go Chang-bom is shocked and says, "Sometimes you're scarier than me. For now, send all 4 of them to prison after they get out of juvenile detention." "I don't want them out, not even for a second," says Hung Sung. "Wow, I wouldn't want to cross you," jokes Go Chang-bom. "By the way, how much longer do I have to be here? I've been working here from the bottom for a month like you said, but there's nothing here. I'm not a patient person working step by step to reach the top," says Go Chang-bom. "Stay there a bit longer." "But, Mr. Go Chang-bom, remember what I said, everything's about to start," says Hung Sung. A few days later, news about real estate stocks skyrockets. Several construction companies are very happy with the huge market increase, including big construction companies. The scene shifts to a construction site. "Hey, hurry up," says a foreman calling a construction worker tying some steel bars. The worker quickly finishes tying, and the concrete is ready to be transported. But a moment later, some steel bars break, causing parts of the building under construction to fall. Seeing the building collapse makes people panic and yell that the building's collapsed. Apparently, a worker didn't have time to avoid it. As a result, the foreman is hit by falling steel bars. "What to do?" says someone. "What do you mean? Call an ambulance now," adds someone else. "Hurry up, and call the police." "No, stop. Everyone drop your phones," yells a foreman. Seeing the foreman scolding them to call the police and ambulance shocks them all, and they look at each other. The foreman immediately takes his phone to call superiors. A construction worker tries to brave himself and says, "Sir, we should call an ambulance first." Hearing this, the foreman yells, "Shut up. What if this project gets suspended because of this accident? Will you pay for the damages? Can you compensate for the losses?" After 2 hours pass, the injured person is sent to the hospital. But instead of being sent to the nearest hospital just 10 minutes away, they're sent to a hospital an hour away that has a good relationship with the company. At the hospital tries to contact the victim's family and finally connects, and the victim's son arrives to see his father's condition. The victim's son is named Oh Jong-hyuk. A moment later, 2 men in suits approach him, introducing themselves as company representatives wanting to meet the victim's family. The accident your father had was due to his carelessness, and it also caused changes. We suffered huge losses due to the accident caused by your father's recklessness, so we won't ask for compensation for the damages, say the two men in suits. Oh Jong-hyuk, seeing his father treated like this, can only hold back his anger. The cold treatment by the company makes him furious, and they can't even cover the hospital bills. Seeing this, Oh Jong-hyuk goes to his father's room and cries over the treatment the company gave his father. And that day is the start of a life he can't forget, all the incidents in the company's treatment where his father works. The scene changes to Go Changbom. Go Changbom walks casually, yawns, and says, I want to sleep, I want to drink, want to play with girls, damn it. How long do I have to do all this? Go Changbom stands while enjoying a cigarette and thinks he has to trust Hung Sung, after seeing with his own eyes what happened to his bullies. All the bullies who used to bully him are now receiving consequences, and Go Changbom realizes the next one to receive the same fate is Go Chong-suk. Alright, I have to trust him, says Go Changbom while putting out his cigarette. As he's about to get back to work, Go Changbom notices something's off. People around are running towards the construction site like something's happened. When he turns, Go Changbom's shocked to see the building's floor has collapsed, and he immediately rushes to the collapsed building. After arriving, Go Changbom asks what actually happened. A man standing next to him explains the building collapse was likely a pouring incident. Pouring? What are you talking about? Says Go Changbom, not understanding. Explain about pouring or whatever later. Now, are there people in there? Says Go Changbom, turning to the man while pointing at the collapsed building. Yeah, there are. We're not sure, but likely 5 or 6 people, says the man. What? Says Go Changbom, glaring at the man angrily. Don't worry, we'll contact superiors and control the news. We'll keep it secret, says the man nervously. Go Changbom angrily grabs the man's shirt collar and says, Hey, is that important? Seeing Go Changbom's furious, grabbing his shirt collar, scares the man. In Go Changbom's mind, he's shocked. Go Changbom says in his heart, Kid, how far can you actually predict this? This is exactly like Hung Sung said. If there's an accident, just use the name of the eldest son of Myunjin Construction to collect the fragments. Don't think about the losses. Think about what's best for the injured workers. Without hesitation, Go Changbom says, quickly call the police and rescue team. I can't. This accident will spread to the public, and it'll all be our fault, explains the man fearfully. Hey, is that the problem? Asks Go Changbom. It's not about compensation. If construction gets delayed, who'll bear the losses? Says the man. Go Changbom releases the man's shirt collar and says coldly, just call the police. The man isn't sure what to do, but amidst his uncertainty, Go Changbom says boldly, I'll take responsibility for all this. Not you, but me. Do you think it's funny playing with people's lives? Quickly call all rescue teams in Decent and save them. I'll take responsibility. Really? When will they arrive here? Asks Go Changbom. They said they're already on their way, heading here since they received the call, says a man in a black suit. Should we start moving debris or rocks with heavy machinery? Asks Go Changbom. No, they said don't touch anything until professionals arrive and see it, explains the man in the black suit. Then they better hurry. Call them again, tell them to come as fast as possible. If it causes problems, I'll handle it, says Go Changbom. Apparently, among the construction workers, there's Oh Jong-hyuk working there. Crash, the sound of the building collapsing again. The whole building's collapsing again. Don't approach, says someone. What? Says Oh Jong-hyuk, shocked. Whether this becomes a problem or not, we should prioritize people's lives. If you still have time to yell useless things like that, at least call the police again, says Go Changbom coldly. Not long after, rescue teams, ambulances, and police arrive at the accident site and start rescuing workers. It's a miracle, most of them only have minor injuries, and no one's life is in danger, yells someone. Is this really a miracle? Yells another. But there's still a problem, says the man in the black suit. What problem? Asks Go Changbom. Some media are already reporting on this accident, and some are reporting it negatively. I think it'll become a hot topic in the news. Since everything's already messed up like this, there's nothing else we can do, says the man in the black suit worriedly. Really? Then what should we do? Asks Go Changbom.